Hi guys, welcome back to Griffin's Gaming Guide. Today I'm going to show you how to get 300,000 Amrita every 15 minutes. It's an incredibly fast way of levelling up through the game. Now to get this one, you need to have unlocked the 4th region, which is called Dawn, and have completed the first main story mission in this region. That will then unlock you a nice little side quest called The Refined Man of the Underworld. All you'll have to fight in this level is 4 enemies, 1 Gaki, 1 Enki, and then Gozuki and Mizuki. Get all 4 of those enemies done and you'll have roughly 90,000 Amrita by the time you've gone back to the main map screen. Obviously you'll get nearly 14,000 just for completing the mission itself. Now one good thing about this mission in particular, all 4 of these enemies, especially the last 2 being bosses, they drop you some incredibly powerful gear. I'm currently running through this particular mission at level 81. I've got power pills, which is a ninjutsu skill, as well as a nice boost to my defense with some Omnio magic, as well as the sloth talisman to slow down both Gozuki and Mizuki. And one of the things that makes this mission kind of so quick to be able to get Amrita, while the enemies have got some pretty decent defense, their attack power seems to be very low. I mean, I haven't really put a lot in my defense. My armor's not all that at the minute, and they don't really seem to be doing a lot of damage. Even with their kind of ultimate attacks, it's still quite weak, to be honest. I seem to be able to tank through damn near all of their moves. Obviously, I still recommend that you go for your burst counters and everything else that you can do. Use your yokai abilities to the best of your abilities, and hopefully you should have this one done. It was taking me roughly 3 minutes to get through each stage. You do this 3 or 4 times. Obviously, you've got to take into account loading screens as well. You do this 3 times, and especially with the equipment that you'll be getting as drops from the enemies, you'll easily be able to make about just over 300,000 Amrita in just under 15 minutes of gameplay. I think in total I was about 13 minutes and I made about 330k. But obviously I've put it down as 300,000, as you might not get some of the gear I got. I might have got a couple of special items that are a lot rarer. Therefore, they give you a lot more Amrita when you make an offering back at your shrine. And I have noticed as well, since I've unlocked the Dawn region, there's been a very nasty spike in difficulty in this region and in a couple of the latter missions in the previous region as well. They seem incredibly challenging now. Even if they're only, say, 1 sword of difficulty, I'm struggling big time dealing with some of those enemies. So for me, I think the developers have put this mission in place purely to grind it out so that you're strong enough, should you have kind of got through on, say, skill or luck to be able to get to this point anyway. This mission seems like the one that will kind of tip you over the edge and push you towards the end game of Nioh 2. Now, I completely appreciate that this is quite far into the actual game itself. If you are struggling on the earlier game, there's a nice little level 4 mission called the Forest Veiled in Darkness. It's the first submission that you'll complete after you complete the first main story mission, obviously the Village of Cursed Blossoms. That level 4 mission, I must have run that probably a good 20 or 30 times, taking out every single enemy and dealing with as many of the Red Graves, the Revenants, as you can. That should give you a good, say, roughly, I'll go 5,000 XP a time. You get just like under 1,500 for actually completing the mission. And each enemy with all the Revenants gives you a nice little XP boost. But for those of you that have hit the 4th region, Dawn, and are wondering why the difficulty's got so much, I strongly recommend that you run this mission over and over again. Obviously the one with the 2 bosses in it, the one we're doing right now, as that will give you your best Amrita to time reward. You can go off and complete the main story missions kind of over and over again, the ones that you've already done to be able to get up to this point. But for me, they take far too long with too many hazards, and sometimes, especially in the later levels, I'm looking at Yuki, the bosses are incredibly challenging. And for me, it just doesn't warrant the amount of time that you'll be spending in those main story missions compared to the Refined Man of the Underworld little submission that you can do, the one that we're doing here over and over. That to me, it just gives you so much more XP for time spent. It's well worth the effort. Right then, that's the mission completed, where we've ended up with 85,633 Amrita for defeating all 4 of those enemies and clearing the mission. Now, if I make an offering with all the gear that I picked up in that mission, I've now got 103,411. So that's a nice little increase of just over 18,000 Amrita for dumping all the gear that you got as well, which is obviously more than the actual mission reward. I strongly recommend that you do this once you're grinding through this mission. Obviously, have a check through. If there's any more powerful gear that you get, if there's any better armour, better weapons that you fancy, obviously use them, get rid of your old stuff. But if you are struggling with your levelling, if levelling up is what you're focusing on, I strongly recommend you make an offer with as much gear as you can. So obviously pump as much Amrita into your bars as possible, making yourself a damn sight stronger in the process. So the stronger you get, the easier the enemies are to deal with. And if you happen to die in this particular mission, it's not the end of the world. As you'll see, probably from looking around on the screen, there's no shrine, but as soon as you come back in, the area is treated just like a normal boss zone, whereby you'll get your grave back and all of your Amrita, soul cores, anything like that, you'll get them back automatically as soon as you respawn. And whilst we're talking about soul cores, the soul cores that you get for Gazuki and Mizuki are incredibly powerful. The best part about that is, after you've run this a good, say, 5 or 10 times, you should have at least 5 or 10 soul cores. For me, say every 5 runs, they drop soul cores 3 out of 5 times. So the ones that you don't need, if you're not a fan of their abilities, they basically just have a big like saw cleaver that comes out and swipes a very wide arc of enemies. It's very, very nice to see. But if you're not a fan of it, make sure that you go to your shrine, go to manage soul cores, go to resting rights, press R2 to check all of the unwanted soul cores that you've got, and then simply get rid of them. That will then give you some very nice XP towards your shifling skill tree, meaning that you can pump skills into that, making you even more powerful as you go through the game as well. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, this one. It's a very nice way of boosting up an incredible amount of Amrita, as well as getting those shifling skill points as well. It should make your time through the end game in Nioh 2 a damn sight easier. There's not really much else I can say for this one, to be honest. If you guys have found anywhere better than it is to grind out Amrita and shifling skills, please let me know down in the comments section. Hopefully it'll help the community out a lot as well. And I wish you very best of luck in your endeavours through Nioh 2. So then guys, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the like button. Let me know down in the comment section what you thought of this Amrita grinding method. Make sure you subscribe to Griffin's Gaming Guides. After you subscribe, please hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future Nioh 2 content. I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe. Take care.